Hey everybody, just wanted to share with you a short idea that we came across this week in Daf Yomi. And it's the idea of praising another person. It's a nice idea. You praise someone, you build them up, you compliment them, whether they're there, whether they're not there, you compliment a person's abilities and such, would seem like a very, very nice thing. But there is actually a side to it that might be a little bit problematic that the Gemara raises. And so it tells us that Rabbi Shimon was sitting in front of his father, Rabbi, and Rabbi just finished reading a section of Tehillim, of Psalms. And the Psalms, you have to understand, back then, they didn't have printing presses. Everything was handwritten. So what does Rabbi say? He says, Kama miyushar k'tav zeh. Boy, whoever wrote this had really, really nice handwriting. Like he's praising what beautiful handwriting this person has. So Reb Shimon says to him, I didn't write that. That wasn't me. Don't give me the praise. Don't ascribe that to me. Yehuda ben Chatya, he's the author. He's the one who wrote this. He tells his father. And Rebbe says at that point, when he finds out who did it, he tells him, Klach melashon hara hazeh. Cease speaking lashon hara. Lashon hara? What lashon hara is this? He's not saying lashon hara. Speaking negative is usually associated with speaking negatively about another person for no purpose. If there's a purpose, it's a different story to save someone from, let's say, getting ripped off. But just gratuitously speaking negatively about a person, that's lashon hara, that we can't do. But that's not what went on over here. Rebbe was praising a guy. And then his son said, well, you know who the person or the author of that great, who has that great handwriting? It's this fellow over here. And then Rebbe goes, don't say any lashon hara. Huh? So the Gemara asks that question. Why is this lashon hara? So it says, because it's based on a principle that Rav Dimi said, La'olam al yisaper adam betovato shel chavreiro. You shouldn't praise too much and say too much positive things about another person. Why? Shemitoch tovato ba lidei ra'ato. Because from discussing the good of somebody, bad will come from it. What's that? Were they referring to ayin hara? No. They're talking about something a little bit more practical. If you go around praising a person, especially in public, you're talking about how great a person is, this, that, and the other, it inevitably will happen. There'll be other people there who don't like that guy so much. Oh, that guy, yeah, he has great handwriting. Have you ever seen how he treats his children? Oh, great handwriting, such a great guy. Oh, yeah, very nice. The guy dresses like a slob, or he can't do a business deal, whatever it is. The problem sometimes in giving too much praise, excessive praise, or doing it publicly is it'll draw out the negative about that person from somebody else within earshot. And that's what we're worried about. That's called avak lashon hara, the dust of lashon hara. You're not saying lashon hara about the person, but it can create and lead to that. So obviously, it's asking from us to have a real strong sensitivity of who we're speaking to when we're praising somebody who's within earshot. What will be the repercussions? The rabbis tell us, Ezu chacham, who's a wise person? Haroa et hanolad, the person who could foresee what will come about. See things 1, 2, 3 steps down the line. See the repercussions of what they're going to say or what they're going to do. That's what the idea is over here, is that you have to, we're not saying don't praise someone. And we're not saying you got to walk on eggs the whole time and be super sensitive. But you have to have an awareness of what your words are going to do and how they're going to affect other people. In a similar vein, it's the same type of thing. You don't go talking about how wonderful your children are if within the people that you're talking to, there's someone there who's been trying to have children and can't have children. Have a sensitivity. Don't talk about how wonderful your vacation was when there's people within earshot who can't scrape the money together to take a vacation. Again, the Judaism always asks us to have a super high sense of sensitivity, of awareness of who's around us before we open our mouth. Realize the repercussions of what we say, even when we're doing positive things, even when we're praising others. Realize and recognize and be sensitive to who's around us. That is the idea over here. And again, we're not saying you can't praise people. We're not saying to walk around on eggshells all the time. Just have a little sensitivity of who you're speaking to and who else might be listening. Have a good Shabbat.